Brenda. Brenda is going to jump in and take this week's call on the research, and I cannot wait for her to jump in, and I get to sit back and relax and enjoy the show. So thank you, Brenda.
Well, thank you so much, Elaine, and I'm so thrilled to be back with you guys. It's hard being a fly on the wall, but I really appreciate your great giving me the grace to do that. And I am Elaine's heard this like 4 times, I think, already today. I am so geeked out about this research. I'm gonna try to calm down and put down all the things I put. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about 2 different things, and we're going to start with lung health, which honestly, I was like, really, lung health? Anyway, what I've discovered really changed my mind, of course, as Juice Plus always does. So we know that Juice Plus provides nutrition for a healthy heart. I personally hadn't even thought about the connection between a healthy lungs and a healthy heart. But the study that we're going to talk about today was published in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition. It's from 2013, and it talks about how Juice Plus positively impacts several key indicators of cardiovascular wellness, which is heart, right? In addition, it supports healthy lung function and improves folate status. Now, I think that this is so exciting for me because this is about it with your lungs. I think most people, if you're talking about issues with your lungs, it's mostly, or for most people, it's asthma, but primarily for adults, I think it's smoking. And I just remember when I was studying to become a certified health coach with Dr. Sears, I remember him saying to me that smoking is the worst legal thing you can do for your body. He said it literally is setting your body on fire. And the reason I'm so geeked out about this particular study is to be able to say to people that we are one of the only groups that I know of, the only product that makes an impact on people who smoke, and even heavy smokers. And that's what this study from the University of Milan talks about. So this involved 75 people. There were 46 men and 29 women, and the mean age was about 49. Now, all of these people had been in a previous study, so they picked 75, they recruited 75 of the most compliant, the people that when they did the first study went by the rules. So I thought that was interesting. So all of the people in this study were smokers and they would, what I consider to be heavy smokers. Every one of them smoked at least 20 or more cigarettes per day for over 10 years, or at least 10 years. But the amazing part is these particular people did not have any existing respiratory complications. Don't ask me how. Anyway, but because smoking creates a lot of free radicals, it also increases oxidative stress, and it puts a real strain on your heart and your lungs. And so the researchers wanted to see if Juice Plus would have a protective effect. They were just hoping for a protection, right? So this was a double-blind, placebo-based study, and they were divided into 3 groups. So each group took 3 capsules twice a day. So there was a placebo group, and they had all the capsules. Even if they were on Juice Plus, they had taken them and put them in other capsules. So they all looked the same, okay? So the placebo group, which is the control group, they took 3 capsules twice a day of just basically some kind of filler, okay? Then there was a group that was on the fruits and the vegetables. So they took 1 fruit, 1 vegetable, and 1 placebo. And then the third group took a fruit, a vegetable, and a berry, okay? So they did a lot of tests to begin with to see, how it was going to affect them. So one of the things that they were looking for were in blood levels were what we've heard about as long as we've been in Juice Plus, homocysteine and cysteine. And it's really important that you keep, Dr. Du Bois used to always talk about homocysteine. I never even heard that term, I don't think, until he did. He started sharing it. But he talks about how important it is to keep those in a healthy range, your amino acids, because they protect your heart. So the participants' lung function was evaluated by measuring the flow and volume of air entering and exiting their lungs. And because certain vitamins impact homocysteine levels, the researchers measured the subject's folate levels and vitamin B12. So after 3 months, the levels of homocysteine and cysteine returned to normal levels in both groups. Both groups of heavy smokers, the group just on the duo and on the trio, they both returned to normal level in 3 months just by adding Juice Plus. And they also were improved in respiratory function. They were marked as with improvement, especially with the trio group, of course. They also improved their levels of folate, and of course, and the placebo group did not experience any changes. So there was, they really ruled out that this was absolutely due to Juice Plus, which I thought it was so cool. And so they said that, basically the best heart healthy nutrition you can get is fruits and vegetables, as we know. And both Dr. Bill and our beloved Dr. Rick always said that it's the antioxidants in fruits and vegetables that are the most important. We need 7 to 13 a day. And so just about, as we know, most Americans, unless they are on Juice Plus, they're not getting 7 to 13 servings a day. So they have what they called a reduced antioxidant capacity. Or as I say, nobody's eating enough fruits and vegetables, okay? So the researchers speculated, and whenever I put my air quotes up, this is a quote, they speculated that Juice Plus, with this incredible amount of naturally occurring whole food antioxidants, may be a convenient way for people who have difficulty eating enough fruits and vegetables to help them counter oxidative stress from smoking. That was the end of the quote. Okay. Guys, one of the reasons I love this stuff so much is because, I just love to learn. I guess the problem is, as soon as I learn it, I got to tell it to somebody. And I'm going to blame it on the teacher and me, but it's probably just my personality. So you guys get to be the ones I geek out on today. So if you've ever been in the hospital and had surgery, and over the last 3 years, I've had 3 surgeries. And so if you've been in there, you know that a lot of times they'll come in and they're wanting to make sure, they want to know how your respiration is. And so they give you that tube thing, and you have to, blow into it or suck, then make this little ball go up and down. Anybody? Okay. Well, okay. First of all, that's called it's called a manual incentive spirometer. And it says it's used to exercise your lungs and to make sure the air gets into every nook and cranny of your lungs, and to measure how much you suck in and how much you can push out. Now, here's the really geek part. Okay, if you blow out air, that's called your FEV, which is your forced expiratory volume, okay, blowing out. If you suck it in, it's your FVC, that's your capacity, your forced vital capacity, okay? And if you have FEF, that's the forced expiratory flow. So you have FEV, FEF, FVC. I'm sorry. Okay, so here comes the good part, where they always say on all the things. Let's get to the good part. After only 3 months, the fruit and vegetable group, this is the duo, their FEF, which is the amount that they could force out, improved compared to the placebo group. But as we all know, we're going to postulate the group that was on the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries improved significantly. And that was all in caps compared to the placebo group. So they were able to suck in more air and blow out more air. And actually, over that 3 months, the poor people in the placebo group, their health actually, their FEE, FEF, and FEC, theirs actually deteriorated. So both JP groups improved, but the placebo groups, theirs were negative and even less. So they said that pulmonary function, and I'm going to quote again, biochemical parameters of heavy smokers seemed to get a beneficial effect from this nutraceutical treatment. It appears that there was a partial reduction in the damaging effects of smoking cigarettes. These findings can be related to significant improvement in oxidation alterations. And basically what they're saying is, okay, I'm going to give it to you now in English. After 3 months of being on groups of heavy smokers without existing respiratory conditions to start with, they showed significant improvement in respiratory function markers and folate status. And in addition, it normalized the cardiovascular risk factors and reduced markers of chronic systemic inflammation. Again, here comes another quote: significant improvement in oxidative alterations contributed to long-term cigarette smoking. So for people who are challenged with smoking that I've met over the years, to be able to say to them, or they'll say, well, I'm a smoker. And I'm like, I just light up, because I'm like, do you know that Juice Plus is one of the only, as far as I know, the only thing that not only blunts the effect of a lot of the smoking, but it can actually repair your lungs, repair some of the damage in your levels. I just think that is the coolest thing ever. And I did not even know about the being able to repair, that it also repaired our lungs too. Okay, so that's that one study. And I just think that is so fabulous. But what was really cool in going through this is I found that in terms of lung, way back in 2003, which is the year I started in Juice Plus, praise the Holy Lord, there's my first year, there was a team of doctors in England and Wales who were really interested. They began testing school-age kids. And what they discovered is that, I don't know if you know this much about, if you've watched a lot of British shows, fruits and vegetables in a lot of times are not a big part of their diet. And so what they were discovering is these kids, basically starting at like ages 11, like older elementary, more middle school up through high school, that they were really having problems with their pulmonary function. And also they were really low in vitamins A, C, and E, because they weren't eating fresh fruits and vegetables. And so again, we're talking about, they had deficits in the FEC, which is their capacity for oxygen. They even found that it was even more pronounced in girls, that girls had more deficits. They had a lower rate of vitamin C and vitamin A. And what they discovered in boys is that boys are more likely to have asthma. And so they had, again, a smaller lung capacity and more trouble blowing out. So basically lung function in these children was lower because they had inadequate dietary antioxidants from fruits and vegetables. And so and what they also noticed is that, what they learned as they did this over many years, that these deficits translated into real deficits as they became adults. That they were getting, like I said, fresh fruit consumption is not something that most of them were doing, and that it really was associated with having weaker lungs and a weaker heart. And so they heard about the children's health study and being able to offer that's been in England since 2003 too. And so they decided to see if it would make a difference. And so they did two different studies. And the second group, they were pretty much fourth graders, and they showed such amazing, their results were so amazing that taking the fruits and vegetables, and with the children's health study, it's over 4 years. And so what they noticed over those 4 years, that the parents were recording, that's how the children's health study works. The parents talk about how, they're the ones who are making the decisions about whether their kids are better, too, based on their I'm sure their doctor visits. But that not only did the children have a more improved lungs, more improved heart, they were, again, eating more fruits and vegetables, actually asking their parents to buy them more fruits and vegetables because they were craving them now. And so they said that, that And all these antioxidants, they postulated that through adult life, and then some of the people even went on and checked that their lung function just kept improving and improving. The more fruits and vegetables they ate, the more that their health improved even into adulthood, which I thought that was just so stinking cool. I just could not stand it. Let me tell you, it said this was their summary. It says low intakes of antioxidant vitamins were associated with deficits in pulmonary function levels among boys and girls in the Children's Health Study. The deficits were large enough among boys with asthma to be potentially clinically significant. Okay. And I don't know if you've ever heard Dr. Candace Corson talk, but her whole medical commitment has been to people with asthma, that she said no one should die of asthma because if you put fruits and vegetables in your body, it helps with your lung capacity and it helps with the asthma. So it says low intake during childhood can contribute to obstructive lung diseases during adulthood, as well as increased morbidity, and morbidity is increased with the volume that you're able to take in and take out of air. And so they really feel like that these kids, these 200, I think it was almost 3,000 kids that they were on, were going to be benefiting throughout their lives because they had been impacted by the Children's Health Study. So it not only pushes my bolt every button I have, but it also makes me emotional that, again, we have no idea how blessed we are to have to be able to get this in our bodies and in our kids' bodies. Okay, so that's lung function, and I hope you can understand why that was such a big deal to me. And I said, please, even that was supposed to be afterwards. That's just not something we've really ever talked about. Now, going on to the other one was the the omega-3 index, and this was done with our favorite doctor, Dr. Manfrecht, in Austria, and it's called the Green Beet and BEAT and Medical University in Graz, Austria, where they also did the COBRA study with the homocysteine levels. And so again, they had 4 groups that they divided. I think there were, let me see, these people went from 20 to 65 years old. Okay, so they had both sexes. They were all healthy men and women from 20 to 65. They did all kinds of testing, and they put them on 4 different groups. There was a group, this was a double-blind placebo, so the group switched after they would do it for 3 weeks, and they switched and did it again for 3 weeks with a different group. Okay, so there was a placebo group. There was a group that was just on omegas. There was a group that was on, and then there was a group that was on the omegas with the fruits, the vegetables, and the berries and grapes. And so they did a 4-week washout. They took them off of everything. They put them on Juice Plus. They took 2 capsules of omegas, and then of the fruits and vegetables. And then there was a group that did just 2 of the omegas, and then there was another group that did 4 of the omegas. And so basically what they discovered again is that they improved their blood lipids, they're supporting cardiovascular health, they reduced inflammation, it regulates blood sugar, improved memory problems in an aging population. So seniors, so there I am. Love that part. Can't wait till that kicks in. Promotes fetal brain and eye development and a healthy birth weight in pregnancy. That doesn't get any better. It increases the emotional health by decreasing mood swings and oppositional behavior. So again, because everything we have is womb to tomb, if you've got kids, my background is special ed. Getting these omegas into, small children and so much of what the ADD, ADHD, autism, all the spectrum kids, if you can decrease their mood swings, and that's going to decrease oppositional behavior. And it's going to also make such an impact on how emotionally they handle life, right? And how they relate to other people. And of course, then we also know that if you're on Juice Plus, you're going to have great skin and your hair's going to, and nails usually are going to grow faster. So many cool things. So the specific part of this, because we studied omega so much, but this omega-3 index, it measures the amount of the omega-3 fatty acids, DHA and EPA, in red blood cells. And so if you get an omega index of 8 to 12, that's, what that says is it's going to impact so many other health factors that we have, health issues. And that in just 8 weeks, Juice Plus significantly increased your omegas. And if you took double omegas, it was even more impactful. And so that the longer that they did it, the more impact that you had. And I said, in the conclusion, my conclusion is always this quote from Dr. Rick: every single cell in your body needs omegas. We are so blessed to have this incredible product that we can share with people across the board, that, literally we can squirt in babies' mouths. And I think that now these group of kids that have had it, because what have we had omegas now, 3 or 4 years? Is that, I'm never good at that stuff. So what about these kids now, by the time with the Children's Health Study, what we're going to see through all of this, I just think it's going to just be such an exciting, it's just going to be more and more exciting. And knowing that with pregnant moms, that the babies are getting it in utero, and they're going to come out with, like Dr. Sear said, Juice Plus babies, basically they're in utero an extra week, which is all brain development, and they weigh an extra pound. And they taste what we taste, they smell what we smell. So they're already completely programmed to love fruits and veggies that we're getting. So it's so exciting. So Elaine, if you don't mind, we've got 2 videos for you on, wasn't anything on omegas, on lung health, that was so long ago. But this first one is from, I think it's from England or somewhere, or maybe Australia. I had not seen this one before. This first one's just a minute, and then the second one talks specifically about the study. So thank you. Uh-oh. Gosh. Now it played for me when I sent it. Let's see if it'll work. Okay, let's go on to the other one, Elaine. I'll see if I can get that first one. I don't think we're hearing it.
Sorry, folks, I forgot to unmute myself.
Independent investigators at leading universities have studied Juice Plus fruit and vegetable capsules since 1995, resulting in numerous clinical papers published in leading scientific journals. Recently, the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition published a peer-reviewed paper on the results of a clinical study of Juice Plus Omega Blend capsules by researchers at the Medical University of Graz in Austria. Juice Plus Omega Blend is an omega fatty acid supplement with 2 key benefits. First, it is a multiple omega supplement containing 5 different omega fatty acids: omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9. Second, it's 100% plant-based. The omega-3s in Juice Plus Omega Blend are sourced not from fish, but from the algae the fish feed on. The Graz researchers wanted to investigate the impact that supplementing with Juice Plus Omega Blend could have on the study participants' omega-3 index, a well-known measure of fatty acid bioavailability. The omega-3 index is a measure of the bioavailability of the specific omega-3 fatty acids named DHA and EPA based on their concentrations in red blood cells. DHA and EPA must be supplied either through our diet or by taking omega-3 supplements, since the body is not able to create them by itself. One of the main reasons the omega-3 index is so important is that there is strong scientific evidence that DHA contributes to the maintenance of normal brain function and normal vision. There is also evidence that DHA and EPA help maintain overall good health. The GRAS Omega study was a controlled, randomised clinical trial in which researchers analysed 68 healthy subjects. All participants kept their usual diets and lifestyle for the 16 weeks of the trial. The only change was the supplements consumed during this time. The omega-3 index for each participant was checked at baseline, at the midway point of the study, after week 8, and at the end of the study, after week 16. So what did the researchers discover? That 2 capsules a day of Juice Plus Omega Blend over 8 weeks increased the omega-3 index significantly, and that after 16 weeks, the index increased even more. This independent clinical study was led by Sebastian Dams and others at the Medical University of Graz in Austria and received funding from the Juice Plus company. We are often asked, is it normal for a company to fund clinical research such as this? What prevents the company from controlling or biasing the results? Most primary research conducted today comes from company grants such as these. The Juice Plus Science Institute works only with universities and research institutes that adhere to the highest professional and ethical standards. They have dedicated officers that work with sponsors such as Juice Plus to ensure that funds are donated transparently, that research is conducted according to established academic protocols, and that research results are independent and unbiased. You can access this study for yourself from Dams S. et al. 2020. It's called Effects of a Plant-Based Fatty Acid Supplement and a Powdered Fruit, Vegetable and Berry Juice Concentrate on Omega-3 Indices and Serum Micronutrient Concentrations in Healthy Subjects. You'll find it in the International Journal of Food Sciences and Nutrition, Volume 71, Number 6, pages 769 to 780.
Okay. Were you able to play it, Elaine? The second one?
Where did
you see I sent it to you? You know what? If I can share my screen for a minute.
Okay.
Because I think I have it on here. I was able, I don't know why it didn't come up. Okay, so I'm gonna share. Can you see this?
Over the course of our evolution, there has been a disconnection from a natural and wholesome diet. We need to put back the good into our nutrition. That's why Juice Plus created the Omega Blend to contribute to your daily nutrition. A rich and unique blend that combines the best omega sources nature has to offer. Like sea buckthorn, a golden berry that grows under the harshest conditions, braves the elements to become a resilient fruit and a powerful source for omega-7, with one of the highest omega-7 potency of any known plant source. Or pomegranate, with a seed oil that is so abundant in omega-5 fatty acids that it has been valued and traditionally used for centuries. And microalgae, one of the Earth's oldest plant organisms, invisible to the naked eye, but powerful and filled with omega-3 fatty acids to maintain your normal function of the heart, brain, and vision. Provided by nature, our Omega Blend is carefully selected from algae, fruit, and seed oils to give your body a wider spectrum of nutrients it needs, like omega-3, 5, 6, 7, and 9 fatty acids in just one capsule. Juice Plus Omega Blend, the good choice.
Okay. I guess we really should pronounce it Omega. I like that. I wonder. Okay. Well, thank you so much for letting me share today and geek out all over you. And does anybody have any questions?
I have, you know me, I always have to say something. I have a couple of things as I was listening to you just share. Thank you, Brenda. That was phenomenal, phenomenal. And as I was, you got all
I love this you guys so much.
But as I was listening to all that you're sharing, I was thinking, okay, how do I take this incredible information that you just gifted us, and how do we turn around and communicate that with our prospects and our customers? And that's what we don't want to miss out on, just getting the knowledge, but we want it applied, and we want to apply it and make it, as Brenda always says, put it on the bottom, the cookie jar on the bottom shelf for our partners or for our customers. And so when you were talking, here were a few things that I just got thinking about when it comes to when you're talking about, I forget the name of the little machine that we've all seen when we've either been in the hospital or visited someone.
Spirometer.
Spirometer. But literally visualizing that with our customers, that even smokers, that capacity breathing in and going out, that's part of the research. That's just visually, you can see them get better. And I think helping, you know, going there with that illustration with them, is it FEV as in ventilation, and then
it's volume.
Okay, so it's FEV for going out, FVC for going in, correct?
The FVC is the capacity of their lungs. So it's FEF, which is, okay, let me go back to my notes. FEF is the, let me see. Everything's grayed out all of a sudden for me. Yikes. Okay. 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 So FEF, here we go. Come on. Okay. It never fails. Okay. Okay. So FEV is the volume. Okay. FEF is the flow out, and FEC is sucking it back in. It's our capacity.
Okay.
And this, when I've had surgery, it's the sucking in that hurts, you know, depending on where your surgery is, but I guess, but yeah.
And maybe we can get a visual with that in this training, because to me, that was, I don't know if it was just me, but I could visualize as she's talking, you know, because you have to hit certain levels to be able to be released to go home. I remember this when my brother was sick, and, you know, knowing that Juice Plus plays a role in that, that's huge. That's really huge, whether it be for smokers or just someone in the hospital. So that stood out to me. The other thing is, just from personal experience with my customers, I've had a lot of kids who have asthma, putting them on the berry blend. I mean, literally, I can't tell how many kids I've seen just as they don't have asthma anymore. One of my favorites was a little girl who, this was before we had the berry chews, and she was swallowing the capsule. She was 4, and she kept saying, Elaine, Miss Elaine, I love my plastics. She called her capsules the plastic. She loved, and she was taking the berry plastics. And I thought that was really cute, but I saw such an impact the mom did. I've had several parents with that. The other thing I was thinking about when you're talking of what I want to go to my customers with is back to the omegas. There is nothing on the market like our omegas. Between being full spectrum, it's just not out there. And then the second thing, that it's full plants. And when we are able, if you go back to when we were talking about what distinguishes us between other products, is knowing what we are and what we are not. We are our omegas are plants, and they're full spectrum. We are not fish-based omegas. When you're able to articulate just a couple key lines that Brenda just gifted us with, I'm telling you what, it will impact people, because what we're communicating, it's not, we're just trying to sell you something. We are trying to help you understand what sets Juice Plus apart from anything else. Okay, I'm going to shut up. I know Sandy Horn's going to share something in both. How about Sandy Horn, then Mara?
Thank you. So, two things. One, I've been a chronic asthmatic my whole life, and I've used swimming.
We can't hear you, babe. Can you turn up?
Is that better?
Yeah.
So one, I've been chronic asthmatic my whole life, very sick child. And since I have added Juice Plus, and I also swam and worked out, also I was involved in voice because I always thought that would help. That always did help me. But since I've added Juice Plus, it's been a game changer. So I have not suffered. And especially through everything that we've just been through, I'm pretty shocked that I have been very fortunate. The other thing was, I just had this experience last week. A customer of mine we were playing phone tag with each other. And she said, Sandy, give me a call. I have to talk to you. And I was like, oh. But she said, I have to tell you, I just came from my doctor's appointment and I've never had a good O2 reading with her lung health. First time ever. And she's only been on the products for 2 months.
Wow. Wow.
So, and she's a breast cancer survivor also.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
So I just wanted to share that because that
Yeah,
was
that's so
went in
powerful.
line with what you were, the research summary today. So I can't wait to send her that because this is the research that proves her experience. So, thank you.
That's absolutely
please-
my word.
Could you please do a video testimony of that so that we could hear it again? It was still really quiet on my side. And I really wanted to hear it.
Mara, do you want to share some thoughts?
Hi. Well, actually, I had a question. So first of all, I want to just say thank you to Brenda. That was very, very important information that she shared. And the question that I had was on the health studies that they performed for this, that you provided, the Journal of American College Nutrition and the American Journal of Epidemiology. Were the subjects, were they still smoking during the study, or did they stop for the study?
I don't think they stopped. I never saw anything that said they had stopped. This is all they said, that they didn't have it. Their big criterion was that all these people did not have existing respiratory function when they started. It never said that they had stopped smoking. Never said that they weren't either, honestly. I guess I'll go back and look, but I didn't see anything like that. And I've been over that study like white on rice.
Yeah, because what I was thinking was, if they did not stop smoking during the study and they still showed improvement, then what if someone does stop smoking, and how much more improvement would they show, in that same amount of time if they're doing something similar?
I'm going to say 98% chance that they didn't stop smoking, because these people had smoked for over 20 years and they wouldn't participated. They'd already been through one study and they had to, but still they smoked the whole first one. So,
so that's incredible.
I don't know if anyone else has had this comment back from your customers, but I've had comments from customers who were smokers, and once they got on Juice Plus, it actually helped them to quit smoking. Anybody else heard that from your customers? Yeah,
it makes sense. And that's what I was getting at, because if it's helping smokers to show improvement, and then you have someone who's trying to quit, it's going to help them all the much more. And then even more for people who don't smoke at all.
right.
So now you've got it's almost like a trifecta happening, where people are just going to show improvement because the product is actually doing its work. So thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And with the chewables, you have something, so many smokers, it's something to do with their hands and their mouth, and being able to eat the chewables too. They don't have the omegas, but at least they're, still getting more fruits and vegetables.
Elaine,
Mouth.
Yes,
May I say something?
yes.
My mom was only on the fruits and vegetables, and she had small cell lung cancer, and they gave her 6 weeks to live. Now that's before the omegas, and she only did the fruits and vegetables. She lived another 17 years smoking. So imagine the fruits, the vegetables, and the omegas, what that would do for people either that smoke or don't smoke any longer. She lived another 17 years. It was the first thing in her mouth every day.
And I have a question on that. Did you elevate her, the amount?
No,
of
nope.
Just two of each a day?
Yep, just 2 of each every day. Because at that time, I had just finished with a divorce, and I was paying for her care, so I didn't really have enough to do my whole family, So
Yes.
no, she just did the regular dose.
Wow, and repeat again how long her life was extended?
17 years.
Wow. Thank
She
you.
took it every single day, though. She knew that it helped her, even though she was smoking. She still survived that was after chemotherapy and radiation that about killed her.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
Kathy.
Hey, I just finished a 6-week online whole food plant-based nutrition course through Cornell University, and part of it was on nutrition and disease, and it was very focused on a vegan diet, and so they had lots of these research studies, and one of them focused on the same thing, where it talked about smokers who were eating a vegan diet. They did not quit smoking, but because they were on that vegan diet, it did the same thing for them. And there's studies there that show that even with them smoking, getting those fruits and vegetables into their bodies made an absolute huge difference. And if I remember correctly, one of the studies said it brought them exactly to the same place as people who did not smoke. And so, most people don't want to be vegan completely, in our society, or else it's going to be a process. So if we can add these fruits and vegetables this way and have the same results, that's huge. So that was good to hear. We have a brother-in-law who has, what is that? PCOD, pulmonary, whatever.
CPOD.
COPD.
COPD.
There it is.
I had the letters right, wrong order. But yeah, COPD, we're going to see if he'll be interested in trying this because he's having a horrible time breathing. He hasn't smoked in years, but still has horrible time breathing. So we'll keep you posted if he decides to give this a shot. So
Well, tell him that we're into testing, and we're going to do a test with him. Would he
yeah,
do a science experiment with us?
Actually,
I'd like
if Carrie Vidiello was on the call, I don't think she's on the call today. Her mother has COPD, and she has an incredible story, and she's been on it for many years. And if you want a good encouragement for someone who has that, talk to her, and I can send you her
okay,
contact.
good.
info.
Okay,
All
good.
right.
That would be
You guys, thanks for everyone who shared. And oh my gosh, Brenda, what great information. I feel armed. How many people, I want to make sure anybody I know who smokes gets this information. This is powerful, as well as asthma and, pneumonia and people in the hospital. I want to challenge us to start literally before we do anything else. When we get off, let's write 5 people that we want to connect with this week because of what we heard today. And can't wait to hear y'all report next week about how that went. So thanks again, Brenda. Thank you guys for being on the call. Have a phenomenal week, you guys.
Yeah,
See you
so good
later.
to see your
Bye.
lovely
Great
faces.
call.
Take care,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks for everything.
Thank you
call.
for the information.
No, it's so
Thank you.
so fun.
Good job, Brenda. Wow.
Yeah.
Excellent.
That was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. Wow. What potential for improvement people have with this?
Absolutely.
Awesome job, Brenda. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
It was. A lot of people have problem with that lung. I got to call somebody right now that's having problems. She can barely, she's on oxygen and all of that kind of stuff. So,
And I think that
really
not
did it.
being able to breathe is one of the scariest things.
oh my, yes. Yep. She had to go to the ER
because she couldn't last week. So hopefully, you know, she's looking to do something.
Well,
Mm.
actually, when I was still teaching, and I taught mostly first graders, the nurse had to have one of those spirometers in the actual nurse's room. And I've taken kids, you know, first graders down there because they're gasping for breath. And
Wow.
I mean, one of those will cure you. I mean, going through that with people, and yeah,
It's really sad.
we are so blessed. I just
Yes,
can't help it,
exactly.
you know?
Yep, I really am.
Hey, Brenda, can
Yes.
you just put on Boxer what the name is, or if you have the link to that last video you showed? That was a really good one. I
Yeah,
hadn't seen that one.
It's on, Elaine, didn't you put that on the,
Oh, did she?
it's on Dropmark. All this stuff's on Dropmark.
Drop mark. Okay.
You know, our Team Extreme.
Yep. Yep. But
Yeah.
aren't there several of them? I'll just look. Okay.
Yeah, go under tools, and that's where you'll
Yeah.
see all the stuff from the research.
Yeah, I'll just look for which one that one is. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Messages.
Yep.
Hey, Marvin, where you been?
Yeah, we
I'm doing
missed
well.
you.
How you doing?
I don't know, but just seeing your text all in capital letters revved me up.
Ah.
So what are you going to go tell people this week, Marvin? What are you going to talk about?
I want to tell people the omegas is great for the lungs, everything in the parts of your body.
Absolutely.
And
It's so amazing.
what is important to eat more of fruits and vegetables.
And
It's best of all, you can steam it, not cook it. You can make smoothies, either or.
There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go. We'll go out there and we can't wait to hear next week how many people you bring on to Juice Plus.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Yes, y'all be safe. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brenda, would you send me that link? Because it's not allowing me to copy it.
Okay,
from-
look on Messenger, because I sent it to you on Messenger.
I just, oops.
Yeah.
I'll stop the
And
recording.
I wasn't